Okay,
How are you doing? My name is Daniel Olivo, and I'm doing this informative speech for Miss Tanya Pope, speech 1311. As you can see, this is my audience. This is audience member number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4, who's also the cameraman. Okay, thank you for joining me today. Now let's begin. Since the beginning of existence, man has tried to make sense of what is around him. Some look to the stars, some look from within spiritually, while others try not to think too much about it and focus on the finer aspects in life through sports. Now, baseball. This is the first sport we're going to talk about. Baseball is a bat and ball game. It's played between 2 players of 9 players each. Each takes turns batting and fielding. So, the questions and origins of baseball begins during it is a subject of debate and controversy over the years to see who created baseball. It's shrouded because baseball started as a peasant game, so basically, it wasn't really well documented, and plus it was looked down upon. In fact, the first mention of baseball in the U.S. was in 1791 in Pittsfield, Massachusetts, banning the game to be played 80 yards within the town meeting house. So, if you think about it, it was like a nuisance, The father of American baseball is Alexander Cartwright. He is credited to being the creator of baseball, and he's also credited for making a lot of the rules that we know of today, including the 3 strikes per batter and 9 players in the outfield. So that was pretty good. That's the game that we know today. Baseball has become a multi-billion-dollar industry, which has inspired the game to be played on many backyards from home and abroad. Different countries, Japan, Canada, so on and so forth. Writing in 1919, philosopher Morris Raphael Conan described baseball as America's national religion. So that's pretty interesting. In 2008, Major League Baseball set a revenue record of $6.5 billion, matching the NFL's total for the first time in decades. So if you think about it, baseball's not that all boring. Alright, let's switch out the glove in baseball and let's put on some shoulder pads and a helmet. American football is a sport played by 11 players on a rectangular field. American football evolved in the United States from the sport of rugby football, or rugby soccer. Those were the 2 sports that originated, helped influence. The first game of American football ever was played on November 6, 1869 between 2 college teams, Rutgers and Princeton. Walter Camp, is the father of American football. He is credited for instituting the rules that we know today, as downs, the 11 players on the field, and also helped create the size and shape of the football we know today. On September 3rd, 1895, the first professional football game was played between the Latrobe Athletic Association and the Jeannette Athletic Club. Latrobe won the game, 12-0. So if you think about today, sure there are shutouts in American football games, but most of it is high-scoring games because the game's very advanced now. According to ESPN.com, Sean McAdams, quote, "Baseball is still called the national pastime, but American football is by far the most popular sport in American society." The Super Bowl is the most popular sporting event in the U.S. The NFL makes approximately $10 billion annually, according to USA Today. Okay. This concludes my speech. Thank you for coming. But first, let's do some questions and answering. I would like to answer any question my audience has for me. So.
Yes, sir. I have a question. The first football game ever played, which were the 2 teams that played?
The 2 college teams that played was between Princeton and Rutgers.
Was that the first official game ever played?
Yes, that was the first official game ever documented in American history.
Oh yes, I have a question.
Go for it.
Who was the father of American baseball?
The father of American baseball was Alexander Cartwright.
And the father for football?
The father of American football is regarded by Walter Camp. He also introduced it, like the downs and also the size and shape of the football. So he's credited with a lot of things. So anyone else would like
Yes, sir. I have how many players are on each football team or on the field at a time?
How many players are on a football team? You said? It's 11 players Will there be any other questions?
How many players on the baseball team?
How many players on a baseball team? Is 9 players. Any other questions? Okay. That concludes my speech and the Q&A section. I thank my audience for being here. Thank you very much for showing and spending your time. I know you had things to do, but thank you again. Thank you for joining us, and we'll see you some other time. Thank you.